Well, welcome back. Another Sunday open pagan church. Been doing some changing on the configuration, trying different things, playing with different settings in the OBS software that we use here in Open Pagan Church, and as well as the rest of my broadcast. Just trying to make it. Hope everybody's doing all right. Of course, this time of year, and of course, those of you that are watching the pre recorded version, you're not going to know this, but this time of year is early spring. So we've got storms blowing through and different atmospheric problems. I have been watching the upstream for Facebook over the last 5 minutes, and it's not been good. So if the video is, or the broadcast version to Facebook is not clear enough, go over to the go over to the YouTube archives, and I'll paste the link in the chat here once I'm done. And if you want to watch the pre-recorded version, un-Facebook interrupted, as it were, you can watch it over there. Striving to let go of anxiety since last month. Well, let me tell you what, anxiety is a day-to-day thing for human beings, most especially nowadays. What's our topic? What are we talking about today? Restraint. Yes. Restraint. What are we restraining from? Choking people? Well, that's kind of illegal, I think. Depends. So, restraint, and what I'm talking about this go around, is because you can, should you? Because you're able to, because you have the power, because you have the knowledge to make things happen. Should you? And here's a case in point. People in the pagan philosophy, all of them. When I say the pagan philosophy, I'm talking about essentially most all of them. All of the different thousands of paths. We believe in magic. We believe in energy, the assistance of the powers of Mother Earth, Father Sun, whatever you call him, Sister Moon, whatever you call her in your chosen path. We believe in the energies and the powers of crystals, the energies and the powers of different stones and candles and what have you. Excuse me. But because we have this power, does it mean we can just use it willy-nilly and run amok with magical chaos? Restraint is a good thing. So what are some of the things and let's think about this. Let's go back a little bit, if you will, and think about when you were first, and those of you that are just coming into the pagan ideology. Those of you that are just coming in, you may not get what I'm fixing to tell you. Well, then again, you might. But those of us that have been in it since Moby Dick was a minnow, we get and we understand the idea of restraint. Because I can doesn't mean I should. Now that goes with anything. The training that I have had the uh, good morning to those of you that are just joining. Our topic this morning is restraint. Because I can doesn't mean I should. And this kind of carries on in everything in life. Really kind of carries on in everything in life because my training when I was younger, martial arts, self defense, and what have you, it gives me the knowledge and the understanding of how to hurt people. And as my martial arts master used to always teach me, it's not about whether or not you hurt people or whether or not you can. The object is to be more confident in yourself and a more understanding of the spirit and follow the discipline more than the action. And I've carried that with me in my path as a shaman and in my teachings. I've carried it with me as my chosen path as a pagan minister and the things that I use to help teach others. So, in showing restraint, this really goes for those of us with anger management issues. Because you can doesn't mean you should. And like I was saying earlier, people in the pagan philosophy, we believe in magic. We believe in the ability to read people. Some of the pagan folk can read emotions. I'm not going to say they can read minds. Reading minds has yet to ever been proven to me definitively. And I'm the type of person I like a little visual learning there, if you will. And I'm not going to say people can't read minds. I'm not going to say that they can. But I'm going to say if you can read people's minds, and I mean actually get inside their brain and see exactly what they're thinking, does it mean you should? Would that not be some kind of invasion of privacy, if you will? Now, I have been known in the past, in the present, to get inside people's heads. I've been accused, if you will, of when I'm counseling people and talking to them mostly in person. It's easier that way. To get inside their heads and not actually see what they're thinking, but have an idea of where their energy is at. Now, here's the thing behind that. I suffer from road rage. I am a recovering road rage fanatic. When I was younger, I was stupider. Had a temper just about that big and a fuse just about that long. I like to think through the years and wisdom I've gotten a little better until I reach that plateau and I fall off of the mountain, in which case, well, it's all over with. But because I can get in people's heads, does it mean I should? Driving down the road, you have an idiot. You have a lot of idiots to drive down the road. But in America, on a multi-lane highway, the left lane, the insidemost lane, is for faster traffic, passing, going around folk. It's not to get in that lane and go 40 or 50 miles an hour in a 70 mile an hour speed zone in the left-hand lane. Don't even get me started on that crap. But does it mean I should get in their head and make them very uncomfortable? Not that I would ever do that. Does it mean that, oh boy, completely agree with Tasha. Says I have rage, worked on it very hard. But I'll tell you, that demon is screaming to get out lately. I understand that. And what's interesting about rage, and it really actually comes back to because I can, should I? When we know people like me and like Tasha and a few others, millions of others, if you will, because we have anger issues, we have to sit on it and think about what we're saying. I know I do. I know as I find myself getting older, my filter becomes a little less in control. Sometimes my mouth goes off at the hinges before the brain can engage and go, wait, don't say that. Wrong time, wrong place, wrong forum. Don't say that. Doesn't always work. So restraint is a good thing. And anybody that's ever listened or counseled with me before, you know what my number one power word is. I use it here a million times. My number one power word actually helps me. I don't know about you, but it does help me stay out of a whole lot of crap. And that is if I can catch myself before I lose restraint. And I can use my number one power word, which is stop. Stop. Don't say that. Stop. Don't do that. Stop. Don't swing. I find that my life is a lot easier. It's a lot calmer. Oh, yes. Reminder. Um, the video is hiccuping, streaming live on Facebook this morning. I don't know if Facebook is extremely busy. I don't know if Facebook is throttling again. But I can tell you streaming speeds go anywhere from 1 meg all the way down to 600K. And I've checked my ISP, as crappy as it is, it's running pretty stable at 5 meg up streaming. So, got to be something tripping with Facebook. I digress. But yes, I agree. It is a thin line that we walk. And so much of the time, most especially with this global economy that we have now, the world has become connected over the last 20 plus years. The global connectivity is light years ahead of what it was even 10 years ago. The advent of live streaming, the advent of, oh my, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and the myriad of other live streaming platforms I've researched out there. And the thing I find with live streaming is it really cuts down on one being able to censor one's attitude. Restraint Doris says, I'm good, even driving in the mountains. Doris, what are you doing in the mountains? Anyway, um, the number 10. That's kind of cool. Um, I like that. Everybody has a power word. 10. That's kind of cool. Count. Counting. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Um, anything that you can do to show restraint. And see, then we run into this slight violation of respect. Because I can doesn't mean I should. Now, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes my bullshit meter goes clear off the scale and I tend to open my mouth and say something about it. Most of the time it's before I have all of the information. Cindy. I'm not saying anything about that. Restraint is a must. In all honesty, there are times where you just gotta let it all hang out. And you gotta bust loose at the seams when something has pushed you over the edge. Doris driving in West Texas. Wow. But pushing one over the edge is a power play. And I'll explain more about that in just a second. My apologies. My eyes are itching this morning. Even though I have taken my allergy meds, my eyes feel like they're going to pop out of my head. You ever have those days where you wish you had removable eyes? Pop them out of socket and rub them around in your hand and put them back in? Well, if I could figure that out, wouldn't that gross some people out on live feed? Guess I better restrain from that, huh? So, let's talk about pushing buttons. People that, the internet, oh boy, the internet. It's full of trolls. And there goes the video tripping again. The internet is full of thousands and thousands, if not millions, of trolls. People that just want to stir crap with other people. They may be in a topic they know absolutely squat all about. But all they want to do is get in there, run their mouth, and stir drama or stir crap. We've all seen it. I'm in a multitude of different groups. I'm equal opportunity. I'm in several witchcraft groups. I'm in a couple of druid groups. Um, I even looked at a couple of Asatru groups. Nah. And of course, my shaman groups, because my path is shaman. But I'm in as many universal pagan groups as I can find. And let me tell you, true universal pagan groups that don't incorporate path or path specific ideology, they're hard to find. Open Pagan Church and House of Pagans, to name a few. And there's another one. Um, they just changed the name of it. If you'll excuse me just a second, I'll see if I can look it up. They are really a very nice group of people. Come on, Facebook. Let's see. If you're in Texas, in the Dallas area, there's Dallas area pagans, Texas pagans. Oh, here it is. Um, Moonlit Paths. Yep, got a really long title. Moonlit Paths is the name of it. Really nice folk. It's it's an open pagan group where they discuss all different things of all different paths and ideologies. But restraint, especially on the internet, where you have millions of different ideologies and philosophies about ways to do different things, it really has brought out the vast, um, the vast differences of the global religions. I've looked into a couple of the different Muslim groups just because I'm curious. I've always found the mosque to be a very calming place, a wonderful place to meditate. I've only been to two different mosques and a Tibetan temple in Scotland. There's a very old Tibetan temple in Scotland that I have visited a couple of times. The last time I visited was last year, I think, while I was there. Spent most of the day there. Sat in the sanctuary and listened to the monks chant. Awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome. But restraint is an absolute must in today's time. And it seriously goes back once again to because I can, should I? And I have to use that a lot in my job. Um, I have to use restraint a lot in my job. I am a third level lead in IT, and I have to use restraint a lot there. So I was fixing to slip into talking about button pushers, trolls. Not just trolls, but people who like to just stir a little crap, play a little drama, have a little game. And yeah, okay, that's the definition of a troll. But a troll goes so much deeper than that. Trolls really want to break up the entire organizational structure of a particular group just because they get a giggle out of pissing people off. And you know, I find it interesting. I find myself over the internet becoming less aggravated than I do with people in person. People in person that are talking shit to my face bother me more than people over the internet. Why is that? Well, people over the internet don't know me from Adam. They may have watched 100 of my videos, they may have watched none. I've been on the internet since 1994. So I've got a hell of a presence out there. You Google me, I'm out there. And just in case you're curious, if anybody wants to Google Pegasus 12162, that's Pegasus, Pegasus 12162. I've been on the internet for a bit. So, yeah, person to person is far different. That is that is flat ass disrespect to your face. So, the button pushers. When I was younger growing up, My mother always taught me to beware of the button pushers. Well, that's not what she called them, but she always told me, she said, Don, people are going to push your buttons your whole life. People are going to try to get under your skin, make you angry, and make you make mistakes your whole life. Boy, was she right. You ever notice sometimes how we have to sit back and kind of chap our butts a little bit when we have to admit just how right our parents were? And what'll really chap your butt is if you have kids, you find yourself saying the same thing to your kids your parents said to you. And that is where restraint comes in handy. Yeah, anyway, I digress. Button pushers, yes. Button pushers are the people that they'll come into a group or they'll come into a chat and they'll sit there and they'll listen for a bit. Well, they'll read for a bit, unless it's an audio chat, in which case shit gets confusing. I've tried being in audio chats before where there's anywhere from 50 to 100 people and everybody's trying to talk over everybody else all at the same time and nobody has a clue what the hell anybody else is saying. But the button pusher is the person that gets into a group, listens for a bit, and then starts replying to little snippets that people are saying. Just with bullcrap, just they'll get an idea of the different personalities that are rolling through the group, and they'll pick out somebody in the group that may be a little shyer or may not quite be up on the education of whatever topic is being said, and they'll nitpick on that person with stupid questions. Some of the alternative religion groups chats that I've sit in, I try to keep my mouth shut, or well, my keyboard shut, and just try to read what's being said. You never know what the hell you'll learn. And every once in a while I'll pop in and I always start out in parentheses, okay guys, look, I apologize my ignorance to your path, but I'm just kind of reading and learning here. Someone said so and so about such and such. Can you explain it just a little more, please? And I always put please and thank you and, with all due respect, I have a question or whatever. But Tasha's going to start screenshotting my face when the screen flashes. Oh boy. I would imagine that could be rather interesting when the screen freezes because my emotions are my emotions generally tell all over my face. Most of the time. There are times, most especially at work or in a counseling session, where people have gotten angry with me because they can't read my emotions, they can't read my face, they can't read my body language. And it's because I've had many, 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 many years of practice. That would make great memes. I bet it would. That's kind of scary. Anyway, so what's a button pusher? The button pusher is the individual that picks out somebody or a pair of somebody's in a chat or a group and just starts nitpicking at them. The button pusher is the person that knows what to say to make other people angry. Again, definition of a troll. But a button pusher is just somebody that will go in and they'll stir things up just a little bit and then they'll disappear. Right? The button pusher at work. Oh my God. The button pusher at work can be, as my boss calls it, a resume generating event. And yes, you can use that. It's an interesting saying. Um, my boss has told me a couple of times that sounds like a resume generating event, especially if I'm fixing to go off on an upper level management that I probably generally should not do. But here's the thing at your job, button pushers, especially if you're in customer service. Customer service is more full of button pushers, shit stirrers, crap talkers, innuendo speakers, and drama. People that love drama. And the one I love most of all when you're on the phone trying to help someone and you tell them, I'm sorry, I can't do that, that's outside of policy. And they reply with, here you go, are you ready for this? You obviously don't know who you're talking to. That is a big button for me, and it really, really causes my face to turn red. I have learned, however, I have learned through the years that it does not help your position to say, no, you're right, I don't know who you are, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn. Restraint, because you can, doesn't mean you should. Not if you like your job. I like my job. It pays my bills. Some of them, for the most part, on occasion. So here's the whole thing behind restraint, right? You have trolls, you have drama mongers, you have the hearsay spreaders, you have the button pushers. Oh, and did I say trolls? Everywhere. You have to deal with them in life, you have to deal with them at work, and family. Oh, family. Boy, do I know a bunch of families that have trolls in their own families. They will sit down with this person and they'll go, chippy, 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 chippy. Did you know that so and so said to such and so and so is sleeping with such and little Johnny's aunt's uncle's mother-in-law's father is screwing his third cousin. Did you know that? And they just got the shit going, man. They got the jabba jabba here and the jabba jabba there and restraint. That's when I have to restrain from walking over and picking them up. Oops, I'm sorry. There was a wall behind your head when I did that. Cindy says, got rid of them. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Leaving my job tomorrow. Ooh. Where you going, Jimmy? All right, Tasha. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Watching. Bleh. Um, Tasha's gonna screenshot, and she's gonna message me with those screenshots. Boy, this ought to be fun to watch. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. So, what do we do with restraint? What is a good way to exercise restraint? Well, I use my power word stop. Other people count. Other people, like I said earlier, may use the word count. Oh, man, I hope your mom gets better. Absolutely. Candles lit for her for sure. We've all got moms. Gotta love them. Yep, absolutely. Have a have a candle party for Jimmy's mom there. I hope she gets better. Cindy says, deep breathe, deep breathe, deep breath. She wasn't joking. She just messaged me 5 photos. Okay, gang, I gotta go look at these photos. Oh no. Um, yeah, she got me in some. She got me in some really good um, screenshots. That's funny. That's funny. Show them, he says. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this. All right. I'm gonna pop that out. We'll pull it over here. Maximize it. And I'm gonna go back over here. All right. Here you go. Left screen. There's the first screenshot. There's the next one. And that's not a screenshot. There we go. Not that I talk with my hands or anything. Doop. And then my perplexed look. Yep. As you can tell, folks, I'm perfectly fine laughing at myself. Got no problems with it. Hey, you gotta have fun, right? Gotta have fun. All right, back on. Uh, doesn't want surgery or treatment. Yep, I get that. All right. So, had a bit of a giggle. So that's about it for restraint. And because I can, does it mean I should? And one of the things that I really actually like this topic. I cover it 2 or 3 times a year, something thereabout. And it goes back to a lot of the discussion, right? When I'm teaching my students, I never, ever teach the death cast, okay? As a shaman teacher, I never teach the death cast. Generally, once a student has reached the high priesthood, they know it. It's automatic. It's just something that's there. It's common sense. But my biggest question I've always asked other practitioners is because you can, does it mean you should. I have talked to leaders of Wiccan organizations, Alexandrian, Gardnerian, and what's the other one? Alexandrian, Gardnerian. There's three big ones. I never can remember all three of them at one time, damn it. But I've talked to leaders of the three big Gardnerian traditions, and most of them have absolutely no issues lighting a candle on someone that has pissed them off, caused them issues, played with their mate. They have no problems lighting a candle to cost someone their job, cause them to get hurt, or whatever. Now, I'm not saying, and please don't shish kebab me and roast me over an open fire. I'm not saying that all Wiccan covens and witchcraft covens and everybody does it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying some do, and I've talked to some that have. It's not a general practice, but it is something they've been known to do. And my question was, as I've said, because you can, does it mean you should? And it's generally after I've earned the respect of the leader of the group. And we're conversating the leader of one group with the leader of another group. And it's like I'm genuinely curious. I don't want to sound judgmental. I want to understand your philosophies and your thoughts and your ideas. And you would be amazed at some of the explanations that I get that in their interpretation allows them to do so. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but I have learned, if nothing through the years, karma is a bitch. Restraint is a plus. And I'll be honest, there have been some times that I have restrained from reacting to a situation that I probably should have reacted to, or reacted inappropriately to a situation where I should have kept my mouth shut. So, with that being said, we're um, we're almost 15 minutes past the hour. And I want to play with something with y'all's indulgence here. Um, I downloaded a background GIF, if you will, for OBS, playing with some of the settings and what have you. See what you guys think. But what I'd like for you to do while we're doing this, I want your ideas on the background. See if you like the House of Pagans and Open Pagan Church background better, or if you like the field better, or perhaps maybe a different um, a different backdrop, different background. I can do waterfalls, um, anything, forest, woods, whatever. So I figured I'd leave that up for a few minutes, see what you think. So what are and yes, Jimmy, we will definitely light candles for your mom. If you guys are watching the pre-recorded broadcast later, be sure and scroll through the chat where Jimmy talks about what's going on with his mom. Candles lit for sure. So a couple of things. What do you think about swapping out different backdrops throughout our video while we're chatting? Or does everybody just like the solid um, open pagan church backdrop? I want to make things more fun, more interesting. Yes, it is, Cindy. Yes, you can. You can do it. All you do is download one of the little 30-second videos. It's a small video, and you input media source on your OBS. Input media source. Go to the file and tell it to loop. Nothing to it. Um, got another one I'll show you while we're playing here. Add media source blue stars. Find file, videos, blue loop. Right. So then there's that one. That was uh, that was one of the first ones I played with. Jimmy said woods. I'll have to look at some of those. I haven't found any good ones. Um, Good, just short snippets of um, woods, you know, in a breeze or whatever. But I mean, you can swap them out real quick right there. You add them under sources, under your main presentation scene, under sources, and it's really kind of cool. Really kind of neat to have. So, so I mean, it's kind of cool. It's going to be something we're going to be playing with. I want to keep, I want to keep the broadcast interesting, but I also don't want them to become distracting. You know, I don't want them to take away from why we're here, if you will. But they're real easy to add and get rid of. Um, OBS for Windows or OBS for Linux, even OBS for Mac will do it, and it's just simply adding a media source. Really kind of cool. Right. So, guys, I appreciate you indulging me and playing with some of the different backgrounds. I'll try to work some of them together, and we'll play with them next week. Need a topic for next week, by the way. If anybody has any ideas, PM them to me. Don't put them in here. I may not see them. PM them to me, if you will, on Facebook. Some good topics. So let's kind of draw to a close, and I'll give you part of your Sunday back, and I'll go bugger off and get ready for live with the shaman. Restraint. Restraint is a very powerful word. It's it has a lot of meaning to it, and it has a lot of things that go along with it that we use in daily life and we don't even realize it. I tend to put restraint up there with respect. I don't always say exactly what's on my mind because I like to try to respect people. I try to respect their feelings, their thoughts, their ideas. I try to respect how they feel and what's going on in their life at that time. And when people start running off at the mouth and they start talking crap for which they know damn good and well means nothing to nothing, I try to think about them. What are they going through? What kind of anxieties are they experiencing? What kind of pains are they experiencing right now in their life? Think about that before you go off on someone. Show restraint before you go off the handle and say something that you might regret, or even worse, do something that you may regret even more. I do, as always, want to thank you for watching Open Pagan Church. You can find these and even more topics in our archives if they've fallen off of Facebook, as they do. And if the videos are too choppy, by all means, go over to our YouTube page and I will post the link over here in the chat. Go over to our YouTube page where you can watch the recorded version that I will be uploading here about noon our time. But remember, restraint, respect, and honor is a good thing. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. Have a great day right here, Open Pagan Church.